Hello. Hello. My name is Arlyn Meyerson. I was born in Detroit, raised here, lived here all my life. I was born deaf. I went to school in Detroit, and I socialized with many people in the community. I was involved with MCAD, which means the Motor City Association of the Deaf. I was an officer, I was a president, vice president, treasurer, chairman of the national basketball tournaments, chairman of CAAD baseball and basketball tournaments. So for many years, at the same time, I was also working for my father in a restaurant. Then later on, I set up my own business, which was called Scotch and Sirloin. It was a restaurant with my brother. And also, I was invited to be a board member of DHSC. This was located on, let me back up here a minute. It was on Wyoming and 7 Mile. It was run by Mrs. Melkin, who helped me gave me a lot of knowledge. She showed me everything about how to run deaf organizations and businesses. She opened up her finance book to me. She showed me her earnings and expenditures. And later on, I was a member there for 10 years. And then at that time, DHSC, Linda Booth was a member there for a while, but then she was let go because she wanted to take over. And then she set up DHIS, and it's run by Linda Booth. But she seemed to be getting a lot of contracts at all the local hospitals, and it seemed like no other agencies can send interpreters there, but they have to always use interpreters just from DHIS. One time, I went to a funeral, quite a while back. It was a well-known man who passed away. But the interpreter didn't show up until probably about a half hour after the service began. But the interpreter then came in blue jeans and really sloppy clothes, and we didn't understand what was going on. The interpreter didn't know what to do, but DHIS sent this interpreter for this funeral. Can you imagine that? But this wasn't the only situation. There was another time where they sent an interpreter to do some legal work with me. But the interpreter couldn't follow what I was saying. The lawyer just had to ask the interpreter to leave, and then we had to start all over again. Later on, I joined TCDSC, which is the Tri-County Deaf Senior Citizens. It was run by DHIS. This time I'd gone to Hazel Park. Then later on, they sort of broke off, and then they had a Redford's group, and then I stayed with this group. Linda Booth invited me to be a board member of the organization. I said, okay, fine. So, and I was working with Phyllis Kubing and Conklin. But they have both since passed away. God, time really does fly. Can you imagine? I can't believe that. Anyway, at that time I went there. There were several meetings, and I had asked for the financial books. I wanted to see the books. They closed them and put them away. And later on, a short time later, I was fired as a board member. I guess I was too smart for them. After that, I lost respect for Linda Booth. Later on, there's oftentimes, I was a president of the Ferndale organization, and what's her name? Mona Lee Mona Lee, she came and she was interpreting. I said, wait a minute, I don't need you to be an interpreter. I don't want to be your puppet on a string. Yes, yes, no, yes, ma'am, to follow exactly what you're saying. I'm not interested. I'm not a child. I'm a grown adult. After that, I lost respect for them, and I quit. And I set up another organization, which is in Royal Oak, senior citizens, and things are fine. We don't have to pay $1 every time we go in there. If you go to Ferndale, or if you go to the Taylor Center, you have to, you have to pay $1 every time you go in. For what? They said they need money to help support their organization, but in Royal Oak, seniors don't have to pay $1. In Redford, seniors don't have to pay $1. So, right now, I've told you why I really disagree with DHIS. And do you know what else? I found out that Linda Booth has, on her IRS forms, it said that her earnings were like $100,000 a year. And also her two daughters earn like $75,000 apiece, for a total of $250,000 just for themselves. No wonder. I remember there was one lady who had came here from Florida. Well, this was quite some time ago, but she's still in the area, and she worked for Linda Booth. And for a short time later, she was fired. Why? Because she was looking in her financial books. It seems like they keep all their funds in their family, so no other outsiders can work inside their office. That's about it. That's why I want to tell you what I know,